It was an ordinary Tuesday evening in downtown Montreal. The air carried the faint hum of traffic, the hiss of buses braking, and the low chatter of pedestrians rushing home. Neon signs flickered, cafes were closing, and the city seemed to be winding down into its usual rhythm. But then, something unusual caught the corner of people's eyes. A shadow, small at first, was moving vertically along the glass facade of the Crowne Plaza Hotel. At first, many thought it was just a trick of the light, a reflection, but then someone stopped, then another, and within seconds, a small crowd had gathered, necks tilted, jaws slack. There, unmistakably, was a figure. No ropes, no harnesses, no scaffolding, just bare hands and shoes pressed against the cold glass. One man yelled, "Someone's on the outside of the Crowne Plaza!" Another woman gasped, clutching her phone. "Oh my God, it's moving so fast!" Police sirens wailed as units were dispatched. Officers spilled out of their cars and onto the pavement, their radios alive with static and disbelief. Unknown subject climbing the north side of the Crowne Plaza. Repeat, climbing the outside. Officers shielded their eyes against the glare of the streetlights, staring upwards. What they saw didn't make sense. The building was smooth, nearly featureless. No ledges wide enough for a foothold. No obvious places to grip. And yet, the figure kept ascending, hand over hand, foot over foot, as though gravity had simply given up. Crowds thickened. Some shouted warnings, others encouragement. Cell phones shot upward like a sea of antennas, capturing shaky footage that would spread like wildfire by morning. "Is that a thief?" someone muttered. "Maybe it's a stuntman," another whispered. "No way, nobody could do that without gear." The figure kept going. Minutes passed like hours. Every hand movement seemed dangerous. Every shift of weight a potential disaster. Children pointed, adults covered their mouths. Even hardened police officers felt the tension coil in their stomachs. Radio chatter filled the air. "Subject has cleared the 15th floor. Height approximately 150 feet. Proceed with caution. Do not attempt to intercept." Inside the building, alarms blared. Lights flickered on, floor after floor, as guests pressed against windows, watching in horror and fascination. Some waved, others backed away, certain they were about to witness a tragedy. But the figure never faltered. Calm, methodical, fearless. Each movement was deliberate, controlled, like watching a dancer perform on the edge of the abyss. At last, after what felt like an eternity, the climber reached the roofline. The crowd erupted, cheers mixed with gasps as the silhouette straightened, standing tall against the Montreal skyline. Police raced to the rooftop access point, expecting to confront a reckless daredevil, maybe even a deranged stuntman. But what they found was stranger. The figure wasn't panicked. He wasn't trying to escape. Instead, he stood calm, almost serene, as though he'd simply finished a jog around the block. And then came the whispers, the recognition. This wasn't an unknown man. This was Alain Robert, the world-famous French Spider-Man. The man who had already scaled the Eiffel Tower, the Sydney Opera House, and countless skyscrapers across the globe. All without ropes, all without permission. And now, he had added the Crowne Plaza in Montreal to his list. The climb, of course, was illegal. He had no permit, no safety equipment, no approval from city officials or the hotel itself. But that was Alain Robert's trademark. Every climb was part art, part protest, and part sheer madness. As police tried to detain him, the crowd below applauded. Phones lit up the night sky. By morning, Montreal was buzzing. News outlets splashed headlines across their front pages. Photos circulated worldwide. And just like that, he was gone, released, fined, and moving on to the next impossible facade. To some, it was an act of vandalism. To others, it was pure spectacle. But no one who witnessed it could deny they had seen something unforgettable. Montreal had become a stage, and Alain Robert, the French Spider-Man, had turned one of its towers into a monument to human audacity. Years later, the story of the night Alain Robert climbed the Crowne Plaza still circulates in Montreal. Not as a tale of crime, not as a police incident, but as a bizarre moment where the ordinary fabric of the city was pierced by something extraordinary. It's a reminder that sometimes Canada's weirdest crimes aren't about violence or theft. Sometimes they're about a man, his bare hands, and the unshakable desire to climb the impossible.
No, sir.